Good morning.
Good morning. It's not early and we're not tired.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Good. I'm always feeling good when the sun is shining.
So, thanks you for your waking up.
Anytime. I love waking up.
Can you introduce yourself, like in short or in long, whatever you want?
Medium. So my name is Noel Andre. I'm American, born in Arizona. I've been living in Prague for about 12 years now. I work as a manager for a corporate company as my main job. Then I also do photography as my kind of secondary job / hobby. And I also have another secondary job / hobby where I cook Mexican food at pop-ups. So with a friend of mine, we cook together and we sell the food in bars which don't have a kitchen.
So you make people not hungry and take shots of their life when they're happy.
Also shots in the bar, yes.
Okay. Can you tell us some story from your life? Maybe what time you remember when you was kid, for example? 3 years, 5, 25?
We lived in a city when I was very little, like 2-3 years old, and I remember I have some small memories. I remember that we had a swimming pool, and I remember that we had a dog. Then we moved from the city. We moved closer to where my dad is from, which is a much smaller town. And we moved to kind of a countryside town close to the border with Mexico. I remember that I liked hiking a lot when I was a kid. So even when I was young, like my parents were not, like they were letting me have some freedom to go into
Desert.
the desert, yeah.
Like you have desert next to your house, or how
Yeah.
it was? You just open the door and it's sand.
Yeah, and rocks. Mostly rocks, then sometimes sand.
So what usually kids do in sand?
They try to go inside. Um, like normally it's the same as another childhood where you're riding bicycles, skateboard, not in the sand, but in
bit
the
harder,
street, yeah, playing sports or something. I didn't like sports so much. I preferred going out to the desert. So usually I would have a bag with some water and like what for me was like important supplies, like pocket knife, my favorite rock, I don't know what else, maybe some snack. And I would just go explore. And I liked to look at rocks, and sometimes I would dig a little. So my dream was when I was older that I will dig some cave and I will find some important like crystals or something in the earth.
So you want to be like Indiana Jones, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you remember after you went to school, you remember how you went to your first class?
Yes, I remember the first time, in the US we have these yellow school buses that come to get you. So
I saw a lot of movies with these buses.
yeah, so of course I had to ride this bus. So when I was in kindergarten, my mom would drive me to school, I think. So it was when I was entering the first grade after kindergarten. So I remember when I needed to take the bus for the first time, and my father told me, so where we lived, it's like a desert, but it's very hilly. So there's so many hills that sometimes there can be one hill with only one house. My father, it would be too far to walk alone, I guess, in the street. So my father drove me like 2 minutes down the hill because the bus would pick me up at the bottom of the hill. So this yellow bus came. I said goodbye to my father, and he told me, when you get on the bus, don't forget to put on your seatbelt. So I said, okay. I went to the bus. I didn't know where to sit, so I looked at the driver, and the driver just told me go sit. So I was like, okay. So I went to the middle or something, and I found that the seat doesn't have a seatbelt, and I didn't know what I'm supposed to do. So I opened the window and I told my dad, like I shouted to my father, "There's no seatbelt," and my dad said, "Oh, I don't know, just hold on." so, so so I sat in the bus and I was holding on like this. And all of the children around me in the bus were laughing, and mostly older children. They were like laughing why I had about how I told my father there's no seatbelt. And I was riding the bus, and my arms were tired. I was tired of holding, so I decided not to hold the seat anymore. And I was embarrassed because the other children were laughing at me. So that day, or maybe sometime later, I asked my father why he had to tell me to put the seatbelt on, and that and why he doesn't know that there's no seatbelts. And he said, "Well, when I was a child, there was no seatbelts, but now it's like more modern times. I thought that there will be seatbelts."
Do you think they still didn't put seat belts?
I think not. Because the bus drivers are like trained to be very safe, and the bus is so big, it's kind of difficult to be really in a dangerous accident.
If you have a son, will you tell him to put seat belt?
No, I'll tell them to hold on.
How you like to study in the school?
Oh, I like studying. Um, I was always good in school, but I always liked to have fun and make jokes. So usually I was getting in trouble with the teachers because I was making people laugh when they were supposed to be studying or doing something or working on something in class. So I was always smart and getting good grades, but I was very often in trouble.
Do you have some friends from the school which you continue talking even now?
Yes, because I live so far away, I'm not speaking with my childhood friends so often, but I still see them on Facebook and Instagram. So I kind of know what is going on in their life. And when I visit Arizona, which is only like once per 3 years, then of course I meet with them and we go for a beer.
I remember you told me interesting story how you was riding and help to some guy to he was auto stop, something like this. A few days ago, you
He was
told me.
hitchhiking. Yeah, once, because it happened, I had, in the US, you need to have a car to go anywhere, especially in the West Coast where I lived. And
So you're from West Coast.
like Arizona is on the West Coast, yeah.
How you need to show West Coast? You know?
I don't know, I'm not gangster.
Okay. Do you know Exhibit?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have some friends who was texting him to update his car, their car?
No, but we watched a lot of Pit My Ride and at
Yeah.
that time.
As it was, I guess it was very famous, yeah, and popular. This.
Yeah, of course. It was MTV, baby. Everybody was watching it.
Okay. So tell us the story about you was.
The hitchhiker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it happened to me sometimes that my car would break down, and it was always a pain because I needed to call someone to help me or to come get me. And sometimes you would see people with their car broken and they were hitchhiking somewhere, or even just without a car. Like if my car wasn't working for some days, I was thinking sometimes like, is it worth it like to try to hitchhike to somewhere? But usually I managed to find someone to give me a ride. But I was thinking, after it happened to me a few times, I was thinking sometime when I see someone who's hitchhiking that I will give them a ride. And one day I was driving home from school and I saw a guy who was like standing by the road and he was hitchhiking. He had a sign that he's trying to go to Phoenix, Arizona. And at that time, I was dating a girl in Phoenix and I was going to visit that weekend, but I wasn't going to leave yet. I needed to go home, maybe even do homework and prepare some stuff and pack my bag, and then I was going to leave. So I thought, okay, if he's still trying to go to Phoenix in like 2-3 hours when I pass, I will give him a ride. and I was thinking like it's not dangerous, like it's not he's probably a good person, and there was nothing for me to be worried about.
Okay.
And so I went home, did this stuff, and I was leaving, and where he was standing, it was like in the parking lot of like some fast food. Maybe it was McDonald's or something. And I could see far away in the parking lot, and I didn't see him anymore. And I thought, oh, okay, somebody picked him up already. But then as I was getting closer, I saw that he was in a different parking lot, but he wasn't waiting anymore. He was just walking, but he had this cardboard under his arm, and he was just walking. But I recognized him, so I thought, okay, I'll ask him. So I stopped and I said, hey, are you still looking for a ride to Phoenix? And he was like shocked. He's like, yeah. He's like, how did you know? You saw me earlier? And I was like, yeah, but I wasn't ready to leave. But so I saw that you're still here, so I can give you a ride if you want. And he's like, wow, thank you. So he got in the car. I asked his name. He asked me his name. We started to talk a little bit. And I was getting onto the highway, which is going down from Flagstaff, Arizona, which is in the mountains in northern Arizona, where I went to university. So we started to go on the highway down towards the city, which takes like 2.5 hours. And I asked him why he's trying to go to Phoenix. And he said, oh, I have a job waiting for me. And I was like, oh, you're changing jobs, or where are you coming from? And he's like, well, I just got out of jail. So, of course, I didn't want to immediately ask why he was in jail. Or maybe I was a little afraid to ask. But it was also strange that he had a job, or I don't know how you apply for a job from jail, maybe some program or something. But we continued talking, and he told me more and more things, and eventually he told me kind of his kind of story of his life. But he had a very different accent, and he like had much lighter hair and skin, so I expected that he was definitely not from Arizona, and he wasn't. He was from some states away in the Midwest, and he I don't know what was going on in his life, but he had an older brother who moved to Arizona, had a good job, had a wife and house, and he invited his brother to so the guy that I was taking with me, he invited him to go live with him and helped him to get a job, and he had kind of like a better life. But his brother became sick and he died. And because of the death of his brother, he was very often doing drugs to kind of not think about his depression, and he was having difficulties to keep a job because of drugs. He got caught by police with drugs many times, so eventually he went to jail for something like 3 years. And when he went to jail, he got clean, he became healthy, and he was able to leave jail after like 2.5 years. He was able to leave earlier because of good behavior. He went, was getting a job, was doing fine. He worked for some company for about 2 years, and they worked with rental cars. And very often people will rent a car in Arizona, see some national park or the Grand Canyon, and they continue to Nevada or California. So the boss, very often, he needed to drive to California to pick up some cars. And in Arizona, when you leave jail early, you can't leave the state for like something like 10 years or I don't know. And he was talking with his boss, and his boss was saying it's so inconvenient that you cannot leave Arizona, because it would be really helpful for me if you can go with me to California to pick up cars sometimes. And the guy said, well, like I would get paid more for these trips. And the guy was like, yeah, because it takes like 2 days instead of just a few hours. And he was like, if I go back to jail for 6 months and I finish the sentence, then it's completed, and then I can leave the state lines. And the boss said, no, I would never ask you to do this. Like, I would never want you to go back there. And the guy said, no, it's okay. Like 6 months is fast compared to 2.5 years. And but you have to promise me that you will give me back my job when I come. And the boss said, yeah, of course, if you really want to do that, then I will give you your job back, and you can help me move these cars. So the guy said, okay. He went back to jail. He finished this 6 months, and I met him the day after he got back from jail to take him to the city. And he said it was like a Saturday, maybe, or no, because I was at school, so it was a Friday. And he said that he would already start on Monday, and that it was that he was hoping that at least by Sunday he will get a ride, but he was very happy that he was taken already on Friday, so that he has like a weekend to relax. And so he was very happy, and I dropped him off at some house of someone he knew that he was going to stay with until he found a place again. And I asked him how was it in jail, and he said that it wasn't so bad, that he went to like a jail which was okay, and that it's very boring. And he said that the food is the cheapest food that you can imagine, and that he ate so much bread, and that like white tasteless bread. And he said that some people, they're so tired of eating the same food which has like no taste, that they kind of don't eat so much. But that he liked to work out, and that he spent a lot of time reading and a lot of time kind of like in some gym that they have. And because of that, he was like taking all of the food of people who weren't eating. And he said that he ate more bread in those 6 months than he will probably eat for the rest of his life.
I was actually thinking what you would do like a manager if some guy will work with you like this. Would you say same like?
If he's a good worker, I guess I don't care. If he's a good worker and ideally doesn't do drugs.
Yeah, now you can say like you can go to the jail, work online, half year from the jail. Yeah, it's a crazy story. But many things happens in our life, so it's
Yeah.
life is not common. It's always something surprise.
Yeah.
You have some stories when you was going from USA to Europe.
Well, I moved to Europe with my dog, so that was the first complication. Was I needed to take my dog to the vet to get some vaccinations and get some papers, and this was kind of expensive. I spent like $250, maybe just for the papers, maybe also some other things I needed to pay. I needed to also get a box for my dog to go with me in the plane, and the only good thing was that I could take my dog as carry-on, so she was small enough. It was a pug, a mops, and she's small enough that she can go in the plane. And but I checked the measurements of the seats of the plane, because you're supposed to make sure the box can fit under the seat.
Okay.
But the box should be big enough that the dog can have water and turn around. And so what I did is I flew from Arizona to New York City, and I stayed one night in New York City. But
have you seen Jay-Z there?
Yeah.
Okay.
In an advertisement. For a New Yorker Yankee cap.
Okay, so you moved to New York?
Yeah, and I didn't have money for a hotel, because in the US, it's not common to stay in a hotel which allows dogs. So it was too expensive. So I needed to go outside of the airport to walk my dog, but we slept in the airport. But I was afraid to sleep outside of the security, because I was afraid maybe someone can rob me, like if someone would just come to the airport to steal from tourists. So I would...
I heard this happens in New York sometimes.
I believe it can happen, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I would go through security with my dog, so that I was in like a safe place where I can leave my bag and, go to restaurants, use the toilet. But when my dog needed to go outside, then I had to exit the secure area, go outside of the airport to some grass so that she could pee. Then I go back through security to stay in the airport in the part which is safe again. And so I had like one whole day in New York. So we slept at the airport on the floor. It's not my favorite place to sleep. And something crazy which happened to me that I almost haven't told anyone is that I had money with me like for school and stuff, because I found that it's better to take cash. And at that time I was moving to Germany for school. And it's better to take cash and exchange it in the country because you get better rates, at least compared to the US. If I would try to send money to the US, then I would lose a little bit of money. And if I would exchange it to euros in the US, then for sure I wouldn't have a good rate. So the best way I found was...
Wait a second, I just want to ask, how old you was that time?
I was 21.
Just to understand, okay, you was 21,
Yeah.
okay. And you're like finish school and you
It was my third year of university.
okay
So I was going to Germany to study for one semester
and go back.
and then go back. So I would go back for the fourth year of university.
You're in New York, sleeping with dog. You have money.
Yeah.
Continue.
So we had like a whole day, so I wanted to go for a longer walk with my dog. So I looked at the map and I saw like a big enough park, which is not so far from the airport, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And so I called Uber, which was still new. It was like crazy for me that you can just like open your phone and a car will just come for you.
Which do you remember which phone model of phone you had that time? You had mobile phone,
I had a HTC One or something like this.
HTC One, and you have option to call Uber.
Yeah.
It was not application. It was an option to call, I guess. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I
I
guess
just
it
know it
was-
was possible.
Okay. So
And but I guess it was an application because I could see the map.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was an app. And so I took an Uber to this park. I was happy walking with my dog and my backpack, I had some bag with me. Since my dog was with me in the plane, I think I had just a small backpack. My suitcase was checked in, so it was fine. But I was afraid if someone would try to rob me, if they took my backpack or if they took my jacket, that they would take also this money. So I had the money in a paper envelope and I put it behind my back, like here. And so I was walking my dog and I had this money behind my back and I was thinking like, and I was wearing shorts. And the park was very chill. Some random people talked to me, but they were very nice. But because I was walking so much with my dog, my back was sweating. And this paper, which was holding the money, was becoming kind of wet. And in some moment, I feel from the bottom of my shorts, something is like slips against my leg. And I was like, oh no, and it was the money. So I took the money and I'm in a big park in New York City with high buildings around. Maybe 100 people are watching me, I have no idea. So I quickly, as fast as I can, grab this money, and my heart is like panicking because someone can see me take this money from the ground. And I look, and because the paper like ripped, like some pieces of money were falling before the like bigger pile of money fell. So I look behind me. My dog also looks. And there's like some bills which are like, there's like a trail of bills and they're like rolling in the wind. And I never panicked so much in my life because I don't even know how much money is laying on the ground. So I, as quickly as I can, I take all this money. At least I could see all of it and the wind was not so strong. But I'm still panicking because I don't know who saw me or what happened. So I'm trying to act normal, but I have all this money in my hands that I'm trying to hide in my shirt.
It's okay, Panino. You still panic.
I'm still panicking. And I don't know what I will do if I lose some of this money or all of the money. But actually it was very quiet. It was kind of early in the morning and nothing happened. I tried to act normal until I could go sit on a bench. And then I very like carefully somehow put this money back together. And I don't know where I put it after that. I must have put it in my backpack where it was safer than in my pants, than in my underwear.
Where you put money right now? Tell us.
In the bank. No, I will never carry so much cash again.
So it was in Japan.
Yeah, it was in Japan.
It was in 2023 or 24.
Yeah. Maybe
Something like this.
not 24, I guess 2023.
23, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister was working for the military and she had given birth to my nephew. And she lived on an island called Guam, where there's an American military base. Guam is in the middle of the ocean, really middle of nowhere. It's a small island, and it's halfway between Japan and Hawaii. And so it was a better connection. You can kind of only fly there from Asia or from the US, from Hawaii. So it was much better for me to go to Asia and go to Guam to visit her and to meet my nephew. I flew from Amsterdam, and I flew with KLM, which is kind of my favorite airline. They're very comfortable.
Okay. So from Amsterdam to Japan.
Yep. I went to Tokyo from Amsterdam, and I stayed in a hotel which was not far from the airport because I was only going to stay there for one day. I checked into my hotel, and the hotel I stayed at had a spa, which you could go to, like a classic Japanese spa, traditional Japanese spa. So I relaxed in the hotel for a bit. Of course, I had some beer, some chuhai, which is a Japanese alcoholic drink, which is kind of like lemonade with vodka. And I decided that I would go to the spa, and I'm not the person who really goes to the spa a lot, but I had it for free from the hotel, and it's also like part of Japanese culture, so I thought it would be good to go. I got into my robe and slippers, so I was naked underneath the robe, and I think I had only my phone. And I went to the floor where there's the spa. I went to the spa. I opened like a curtain to go to the entrance, which eventually goes to the spa. And there's a huge sign of rules. And the first rule, there's a picture of a guy with tattoos with an X, and it says no tattoos. And I was like, oh no.
What should they do?
And I was thinking like, no, it's like, because I'm just staying at the hotel and I have a few tattoos.
It's for
like,
mafia. I'm not a mafia.
well,
Yeah.
I was thinking probably it's fine. And I was thinking I will just cover myself with the towel so they can't see my tattoos. And then I'll get in the water, and when I'm in the water, no one will take me from the water, right?
Yeah.
But so there were some guys who were there in the room changing or like drying their hair, combing their hair, clipping their nails for some reason. And I started to take off the towel, but I have tattoos on my chest, on my thigh, on my arm, and I found that with this towel, which is an Asian-sized towel, which is half the size of a European towel,
Okay.
which is only 1/4 of the size of an American towel, it was impossible for me to cover all my tattoos. Like I could cover maybe half, but it would look strange because the towel would go from here to here or something. And so I thought, okay, it's not possible. And I didn't think I would really get in trouble, but I was afraid that I would make people scared or something like this. So I decided to go to back to my hotel room. I had more beer so that I can be more brave. And I was Googling how it really works, like if you have tattoos, what to do. And basically, if it's...
You can apply for a job to Yakuza.
It was the second option. Basically, if different spas have different rules, and some are more strict, some are not. If they're very strict, then there's someone who will really check. But in this hotel, there wasn't anybody really checking. It's just for the guests. And basically, the reason they have this law or rule is because of Yakuza Mafia. And the Yakuza have like full body tattoos. They don't have like 1 or 2 tattoos like a normal Westerner. And so the rule is mainly against full body tattoos, which I definitely didn't have. And it said, yes, you can kind of cover up, and it should be kind of okay. So I was more brave because I had more beer, so I went back and I was like, I'm going to do it. I got ready really slowly so that I tried to manage that people couldn't really see me. And I read how it works, and one of the ways that it works is the same hot water, which is in the spa. They kind of have an area where you should wash yourself before you go to the spa. So you sit on a little chair, you have this like hot mineral water, which you like wash yourself with. And this water was really nice. And I decided I will kind of wash myself until people leave the spa, because it was small. There was maybe 4 or 5 people, and I was thinking when there's 1 or 2, it's maybe better. So, but I was still kind of shy. So I was like washing, rinsing, giving myself like a massage. And finally I thought, okay, it's already been a long time. I will just go back to my room. Like I'm already very relaxed. It's nice. So I decided to get up to leave, and I didn't care about my tattoos because I was leaving. So I got up and I didn't notice that it was empty already. So I went very quickly to the spa and went down to the water like this so that nobody can see. And then I was relaxing. 2 guys came eventually, but I chilled there for a while till I was satisfied. Then I got up, and then I didn't care anymore at all because I was totally done. But I went to this locker room to like dry myself and I don't know, fix my hair or like whatever. And then I didn't care about my tattoos, and some guys were coming in, and I was looking for their reaction because I wanted to see if it's strange for them that there's a guy with tattoos who's like in the locker room. But maybe one guy kind of like looked, but everyone else who came in didn't really seem to care. So then I felt that it's okay.
So it was secret mission, but no one maybe was care about this.
Yeah,
Only
maybe.
Noel was like,
Dun, 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 dun.
okay, okay. And what you can say about Japanese people
They're
and
super nice and super helpful. Um, like a Japanese person, even if they don't understand any English, they will still try to understand and they will still try to help you find what you're looking for or where you're trying to go. It's super, super clean and organized, as you can imagine. Not every place, though. There's still some places which might not be so organized. Like I went to one cafe where they were super polite, but like it wasn't super as organized and it wasn't as super clean as I was used to in Japan. So there's still places which are not so typically Japanese, I would say, that you can discover. The food was good though, and but if I would take something I learned from this trip, because I went also to South Korea, and for me the food in South Korea is better. Since I'm Mexican American, I really like to eat a lot of chili, and South Koreans love to put chili in everything. So I had a lot of really great street food and like cabbage fried with chili, soup with chili. And so for me, the food in South Korea was kind of better than Japanese food. I love Japanese food too. Just that for me, it was interesting that everything has chili without me needing to ask for it. But for me, the Japanese people are a bit nicer because they're more helpful when they don't speak English. In South Korea, people were more shy, and if I needed to try to ask about something in a shop or about some information, usually they were trying to like kind of ignore me or look like they're doing something so that they didn't need to help me. And in Japan, it was the opposite. Sometimes someone was taking a really long time trying to understand, and I was telling them like, it's okay, I will go, and they were like, no, 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 and they were like still trying to follow me and help me. So this was a big difference of the personality.
if you will compare Georgia and Japan, what you would say?
Georgia and Japan.
Yeah.
Georgian people are also really, really nice, and I think very honest people. Georgian people are more loud. Like they talk a lot. They will like shout to each other. Like taxi drivers are hilarious. When you ride in a taxi in Georgia, they will. I don't know how it works with their like Uber reviews, but they will roll the window and they will just start shouting to another driver, another taxi driver,
Like,
someone in the sidewalk.
Fuck you, like this.
Seems like that, but they will shout also when they see someone they know. So like if there's someone in the sidewalk and he's buying some bread,
Yeah, okay.
the taxi driver will also and it's very funny. And Japanese people are super quiet, so even when me and my sister were talking sometimes in public transport or in a store, I could feel that the whole store can hear us because our voice is naturally like louder than a typical Japanese person. In Georgia, I don't need to worry about this. They're also loud, so it's fine.
Okay, 3 countries which each people need to visit in their life.
Well, definitely Georgia. That's my, other than Czech Republic where I live, I would say it's kind of my secondary home because I've been many times and I love it very much.
Because very tasty food, I guess.
Delicious food, the kind and honest people, also amazing wine.
And you can even make wine, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very inexpensive.
Can you tell like in very short like how you was making wine there?
Yes.
You met some guy, I guess. Yeah, he told like let's make a wine.
How it started? I was staying in Signali, and the owner of the place I was staying, the wife told me that they were going to pick grapes. So I went with them twice. Once to make cha-cha was the first time actually, and the second time was to make wine, like 1 year later. So the first time, I was staying in kind of I forgot what it's called, like a guest house, and I was staying at their guest house, and they actually lived in Tbilisi, but they were, and their basically the grandma in Signali was taking care of me, but she called me to say that they'll go from Tbilisi to another town. I forgot what it was called, but kind of between. So she explained to me if I want to go, how to meet them, and that I can go with them to make chacha. And I was like, and chacha is like a vodka, very strong, made from wine skins. Of course, I was super excited to go to learn how they make cha-cha. She said that in exchange for my work, for helping them to make the cha-cha, that they will give me food and some wine and such, and I would do it even without this, but this is also a great offer. So I went, met them. She took me to where her mom's original home where she grew up.
But you
And
met them just like outside on the street,
yeah,
these guys?
yeah, by the highway which goes like from one side of Georgia to the other side. They waited for me where there's marshrutka
Uh-huh.
stop,
Okay. Okay.
minibus stop.
Okay.
And so they just met me there. I already talked to her on the phone. So I recognized even her voice. She took me to this house. She showed me all of this old equipment. She was really interested in preserving her family's kind of history. So they didn't have anything new. Everything was super old and a little bit repaired. All the equipment. And basically they had buckets of basically wine. So what they did is they made some wine, which they felt is not good enough. So they used this only for the alcohol. Then wine, which they really liked, they saved just the skin and the seeds of the grapes. And this was for the flavor of the cha-cha. And then the wine, which they didn't like so much, it was just to remove the alcohol for the cha-cha. So we mixed these good grape skins with this okay wine. We made fire underneath this big kettle. We turned on water into the cooling part, and we distilled this cha-cha. And the fun part is that we were checking, eating, drinking wine, talking, then going to check it, feeling how it's getting hotter. And then finally there started to drip these drops. And this guy is like, now's your moment. You need to drink hot cha-cha. And I was like, I should drink it hot? And he's like, yeah, yeah. So I got a shot glass. I waited for the shot glass to fill. And then I was going to drink it. He's like, wait, it's too hot. You need to wait. So I waited, and then he was like, okay, now it should be okay. And I drank this hot cha-cha, and it's stronger than vodka, burns more than vodka, but still somehow more smooth. And it was hot, so it was an interesting experience. And so we were filling some bottles with the cha-cha, and then we had some cha-cha, and then I don't remember so much the rest of the evening.
Okay. I don't know. Thanks for the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Senya.
It was very interesting, and I feel that I could have 3-5 hours more to listen to the stories.
Maybe someday we'll have part 2.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Breaking news.
Second and third country which each people need to visit in their life.
I think second should be Turkey. It's amazing. People are nice. Food is good. And the beach is nice. So I would say number 2 is definitely Turkey. Number 3 has to be Czech Republic because we love it here. Beer is good and people are also chill.
And say that you love Czech Republic.
I do love Czech Republic.
5 things, in your opinion, each people need to try in their life.
So I think to have a drink with a stranger is very important.
Have you tried ever?
Yeah. Maybe 3-4 times. Unfortunately, only 3-4 times.
Okay, so you think it's nice?
Yeah. I think...
Some adventure.
Yeah. When you're in your life, sometimes it's nice to get a new perspective. And to me, one of the best ways is to meet a new person with a completely different perspective and to have a beer in a bar with a random person that you don't know. It's definitely a different perspective. So
that's how you're searching for friends.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, nice. Tell us what's next.
So then second is hiking alone. Approximately once per year, I try to go on some hiking trip by myself, and I think that this is the best way for me to sort out my thoughts. I think to hike like 3-4 days by myself, it's the best way for me to just think about life and stuff. So,
Do you feel like you restart, reload after this?
oh, for sure, yeah. And it's the best way that I can recommend someone to think about life or something.
And if someone is afraid to go alone, better stay home.
No, go.
Go.
They should go.
Okay, make like this. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us next.
Um, so I think everyone should hike a high mountain at least once in their life.
Why?
It's a little bit associated to this hiking alone that like it's the best way to like think about your thoughts or to sort out your thoughts or something. But also like I think this like level of accomplishment is like kind of amazing. So like I I think anybody who can hike a high mountain that they will never regret it. Like when you make a mission and you accomplish this mission, it's like something special.
Cool. But not Everest, something a bit lower.
No, it can be it can be something in the middle.
Okay.
Then I think it's or my fourth recommendation is to see the stars because in cities you don't see the stars so much, but I'm from like the countryside and also I'm from Arizona, so like the air is dry, so you can see farther than in other places. And I think like to drive to a secluded place to like look at the sky, it's like something special. It's like I don't know. Imagine like seeing something that you've never seen before, and it's like so far and so special. So yeah, I think that's cool.
Okay, I like it. You have one more?
The last, so fifth thing on my list is to love yourself. And
I think it's important.
I do think it's important, yeah. Um, but it means what it says. Like, I just think that it's really important to appreciate yourself and to love yourself.
But there should be a border between love yourself and become an egoist.
Well, yeah, that's true. But to be egotistic is really like, it's really extreme. So, no, don't be egotistic, just love yourself.
Okay, and say bye bye to everyone and do like this.